Okay, this video now is actually just showing you how to mount the a sample in the tension mode and also the compression mode. In this case, what we've done is we've taken off the bending T-bar and we put on the tension T-bar, which is in place there. And the first thing to do is to then put on some spacers here and lock this T-bar in place. At the moment this is quite loose, so I'm going to secure that by safely using the alignment jig. That means putting on the spacer arrangements. These spacers allow for some predetermined fixed lengths of sample. There's a variety of choices you can make here, or you can actually have any length you like within the range of the instrument, and that's up to 2 centimeters in length of sample. So I'm just simply putting this on. This is actually, you'll see in a moment that I'm going to use a jig which allows us to tighten everything up safely and securely. I'm using the two smaller spacers for this to enable us to correctly put the jig in place. Okay, that's that. And we put in front of that, we put the support bar that is used for mounting the samples. Simply screw these into place with just a couple of these securing screws at the moment. Just save a little time while I do the demonstration. Normally you would fix them in the opposite sides as well, and they're normally secured using a torque driver, like so. In fact, normally the torque driver is used on most of the nuts and settings. Next thing is to then put the jig in place, and the jig is very carefully designed. This is this part here. This will actually allow us to slide over the platinum resistance thermometer and sit in the correct position there. And then we need to secure that with the right screws. I'll do the front one first on the frame. Oops. Secure that. Quite straightforward. Now on the T-bar of the drive shaft. Make sure it's lined up with the holes. That is now jigged into the right position. Make sure that the drive shaft is securely there. So now we can tighten that grip screw on the actual drive itself. And that has been safely tightened up, so now the T-bar is nice and tightly arranged. You can undo the jig. That should just lift off. And now we have in place the T-bar and the front frame. This has got a fixed length at the moment of 1 centimetre. We could, if we wanted to, we could run a suitable sample, and that simply means laying the sample across in place. This could be anything from a fibre, a film, whatever. And it's very easy in this orientation to do that, and then you need to put on the appropriate clamps to secure that, and that's very easily done by taking the clamp bars and simply putting them into place. Goes up sequentially. And make sure it's secured evenly. And the same on the drive itself. Okay. You just lay that gently in place and then screw those in as well. Make sure that the sample is reasonably centrally mounted. If you want to do any minor adjustments, you can do them now. Get it parallel. And that is a sample now mounted in attention mode. Okay, just so you can see it a little clearer, I'll raise that up and so you can see it more clearly. That is the sample now mounted in attention mode. Okay. Using the same arrangement, we can convert this into a compression mode. Just undo the top clamp bars from the sample, and for doing the compression, what you need to do is to use the compression fittings. These are very straightforward. They'll simply lay in place there. That's it. And they screw in place so. And then to actually put the front one on, you need to remove the front bar temporarily. Put the matching tension bolt, compression clamp onto the piece that you've just removed. It's very evident how this fits together when I show you this in close up in a moment. Just to show you what I've done, I've now put this onto the front part, and that will now match against that. But we need to also remove these at this stage because we need to have adjustment to fit the sample in place. So we can take those off. We put a drive bar, an ordinary clamp bar, on the back there. then we can put this in place, and we use just a ordinary longer screw thread which can go into these here. Same on both sides. And this will allow us a variation on the length and thickness of sample we can put into place. I'll move the camera in a moment so you can see more clearly what I've done. Okay, if I move the camera across, you can now see, I think, more clearly. I've now placed a screw which is actually passing along through that part there, which allows the gap here to be actually adjusted with the sample in place. And then once that's put in place, you can simply put the front securing nuts on and tighten them up, and that gives you your compression sample. So that is tension and compression clamps. Thank you very much.